We are glad to have you, sir, and we look forward to this session. So, we're going to discuss on the change in marketing strategies after COVID-19. Sir is an IIFT alumnus and has spearheaded the employee advocacy program at his firm and trained more than 1,000 employees across India. So, up over to you, sir, now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Quickly, one of the interesting things that I've been a part of when I say integrated campaigns is running campaigns which have a mix of digital marketing, social media marketing, public relations, and creative as well. When I say creative, it means your videos and social media content and all other things, etc. That's been a part of all that. Talking about COVID, and the subject or the title was marketing post COVID and how it's going to change post COVID. But I think what's something that all of us will agree with is that it actually has already changed. Talking about how it has changed us, how we work, how we learn, which is again these online courses and all these different things which were there, but now you can see the advent of all different institutes and colleges and bloggers and influencers trying to use Teams, which is Microsoft, Google Duo, which you guys are doing, and a lot of other platforms to just engage as much as possible. And it includes socializing and shopping and connecting and also contributing also to the economy. And that is very much specific to how we are using or how it has changed from what it was earlier. More importantly for us as marketeers, the biggest change that has happened is the change in KPIs. Every brand, on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis, on a monthly basis, we have our own KPIs that we set, which could be the number of people we're going to reach out to, the sales that we're going to drive, or any other matrix that we have. The most important thing right now is to understand the consumer. We have changed. If we have changed, you can understand everyone has obviously changed, because this COVID situation has an impact on everything possible that you can talk about. And this has a very bittersweet story, the impact that it had on businesses also. What it really means for the marketeer is that the first step right now is to first of all understand. Let's understand the already complex mind that our consumers had right now are trying to understand the brands, that is, how is their audience reacting. Yes, people are spending more time on social media or digital, but are they spending that much time on, say, maybe checking out what brands are doing? Or are they spending more time, maybe, say, on Twitter or on news sites or on any other platform just to understand what's really happening around the world? Audience, our consumers are really apprehensive at this point of time. They are nervous, they are scared. How can us as marketeers share and or motivate them at this point of time? Have that connection open in terms of communications so that they feel connected with us. And how are we able to make sure that we are able to add value to the consumer's life at this point of time is going to be really important. And when I say adding value to consumer's life, it is not just selling product just for the sake of it. It is to understand what is that they really require at this point of time, where are they struggling at this point of time, and how do we really change their communication or change a business model to really help them in this regard. Maybe this is the right time to relook at what that brand really stood for, and if there are changes that we need to make in that. There is this one model that I follow, which is called the 1-10-100 model. One is the message, the brand message that we should be focusing on. 10 are the touch points that you create to share that message across, and 100 are your larger audience base or your target audience that you're going to be reaching out to because of or through those touch points, or those 10 touch points that we just talked about. If you have your brand message in place, if you have changed that, keeping in mind the situation, you can actually focus on making sure that you are able to share the right message with the right people, and that those touch points could be your social media channels, your leadership, influencers, website, etc. The second one is be attentive. It's not about just doing things, it's about also taking a step back sometimes and analyzing the larger landscape. And the last one, C, is how we focus on keeping the consumer needs first. Don't sell, let's converse. People don't want to buy things right now, they would want to have a conversation.
Thank you profusely for showing up on a Sunday. And but I enjoyed your session. You have tickled a few things in your presentation, and the word you started with, saying that COVID is not temporary, and it's a paradigm shift. And I so very well agree with you on this, because it is already changing the way we consume data, information, the way we experience life, or the way we engage with people, the way the social structures are going to shape up, the way we are going to reach out to customers and engage with our stakeholders and all. There is a paradigm shift already happening, and
Absolutely.
you started with a fantastic point as a precursor, and I think you have led the thought process very well in taking home the point, saying that yes, you got to gather yourself, and our boys and girls have to prepare themselves well to be able to address and be the marketing champions in the new world order, which is with the paradigm shift, as you rightly mentioned. And that's really encouraging. I'm really happy that we are already getting into the groove of the so-called new way of learning, or new way of consuming the learning process. Right? Thank you so much. And Siddharth, over to you.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon, Abhishek.
Good
Mr.
afternoon,
Abhishek.
sir.
It was very nice session, sir. Really enlightened. So I have two questions to ask, sir.
Yes, sir.
Till now, we have been observing like Amazon, Flipkart. They are not very actively selling because of this lockdown. Basically, consumer durables and other things have actually stopped, and only essential services are being offered. So, can we expect that they will really pick up once the lockdown is over, or maybe for the next 6 months or 1 year? Will they really pick up? Is one question I have.
Okay.
Another question is like recently, Mr. Raghuram Rajan was giving one interview to all the TV channels. So he was saying like post this COVID, or he expects that the demand will be there for cars, because people want to maintain distancing. You don't want to travel in taxis or any other things. So probably people will start buying cars. Will that happen?
Answering the first question, absolutely. I think right now the issue is the supply chain management really not working for us. Once that is sorted out, and I gave an example, there is this one report that or study that was done by Gallup, which actually talks about e-commerce industry in the world, talking about how in every country, how is it really performing. India was in red. It is because of the thing that we just talked about, because again, there is no way of for us to get for all these things to be shared with our consumer base or us to get it. However, if you will see right now, the supply chain management already has improved, so it's definitely is going to get better. The other thing that we need to keep in mind is that us as consumers, and if you think of it from your example also, you will be much more apprehensive to go out in a crowded place, even if the situation is a little better, because you never know, right? It's an again, using that word, it's an unprecedented situation. You can't compare it with anything that has happened in the past. It is something that you might know what's going to happen again. So maybe there is going to be a relapse or something else that happens, but that apprehension is going to drive us to buy things from an Amazon, which we already were doing, by the way. But the consumption is going to increase by many folds for sure. The second thing, maybe the change is not going to be people buying cars, because again, I think one of the mindsets is going to be, do I really need a car? Do I need to really invest that much amount of money? And this is again my personal opinion again. Do I really need to invest that much amount of money buying a car? Or maybe there are policies changed by employers and institutes and other stakeholders to make sure that there is much more remote working that happens. That could be a change that I feel is going to be there, rather than people buying more cars, is my understanding again. And also another thing, if I may add, is people are also becoming, and all of us are also becoming much more really understanding the change in how changing environment has an impact on us also. So one of the things that has happened with us staying home is the carbon footprint has actually gone down. So maybe all of us are going to will become much more environment friendly, if I may say. I hope I'm able to answer your question, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Afternoon, sir. I'm Abhiti. I'm
Right,
student
right.
of MBA Marketing. Yeah, so just a very basic question because I saw a commercial on television. So recent commercial of Lifebuoy, it's featuring Kajol. It says that जो भी साबुन हो आपके पास उसे use करे. So in this regard, I wanted to ask like this kind of advertisement, like how do you take such kind of branding and how is it beneficial? And also, aren't they reducing their own market? Because they themselves are asking like you can use any product in that category. So yeah.
That's actually a very interesting question. If you, I don't know if you actually saw, there was an advertisement also that they did in the newspaper on the same lines. Obviously, there was no Kajol. It just talked about the fact that it during this time, irrespective you buy XYZ, they basically named a lot of different soap brands, their competition, and said that it doesn't matter, just use any of those, but just be safe. Now, as a marketer, there are two ways of looking at it, by the way. Yeah, there are a lot of smart audience base that is out there. Your smart consumers who are going to see that and going to really appreciate it. A brand is actually doing something like this during this time, because again, like I said, this is not the time to sell. This is the time to have conversations, and there is no better way to have a conversation wherein a brand says it doesn't matter if you buy us or not, it doesn't matter, we don't want your money right now, we just want you to be safe. Now imagine this line and think about it. As a marketer, I'm really passionate. When I see this, when I say this, it gives me goosebumps, because that's a great way to talk about this one very important aspect which we keep on talking about, we keep on hearing, which is brand love, brand affinity. It just shows that they've done one thing, which is the brand recall part or the conversation part. But also what's important is they're also making sure that they are, irrespective if you use them or use something else, there is still going to be some kind of sales for them also, no?
My name's Anmol and
Hi.
I'm from marketing as well. So while we talk about brands, the first thing that comes to mind is brand. How do you value the brand? Until now, we used to use traditional methods like inter-brand brand valuation model, which used to take in account, the financial performance, the market analysis, and the brand analysis. Now that companies aren't performing financially well because there are no sales for a lot of companies, how do you think we are going to shift to, what are the parameters that we'll shift and take into account to value the brand that we have?
See, the parameters are going to remain what they were earlier also. Maybe there's going to be a rejig in terms of the KPIs or the numbers that were set. So a brand can't survive if they're not selling. That they remove that from their performance matrix, the sales, that is. That can't be the case. However, it could be that they look at different ways of going about it. For example, rather than an automobile brand selling cars to individuals or talking about how you can buy it for your family, maybe they will be focusing on carpooling as their main messaging to convey that you should be buying a car. To change, but it can't be that they remove the sales figures from their KPIs. The company is going to, basically, there's going to be it can't exist without that, right? And it is
Right.
true for even if it's a multinational company, or even if it's a very small company and an MSE or MSME also, they have to make sales, even if they are B2B or B2C. The other things that could be done, and again, we have been talking a lot about consumer behavior. I think that will play a really important role. So maybe those could be things that they would want to add, and also sentiment analysis. So they would want to add sentiment analysis if they weren't doing earlier, as a part of their KPIs, to understand what is that their audience is talking about, not just about the brand, but also about the sector and the industry as a whole, to maybe come together as an industry and then come up with solutions which will help the industry altogether, rather than thinking in silos. So maybe those could be the things that we might see changing in the future.
Okay. Yeah, that
Thank you.
answers my question.